Hi everyone, welcome to RnP Cricket Insights, our match day catch-ups. Dunit Velalage came, Dunit Velalage made his debut, Dunit Velalage won the game for Sri Lanka, and ultimately Dunit Velalage won the man of the match as well. We are humbly proud that, RnP Cricket Insights, the first to name Dunit Velalage for T20 international team week ago. If you, go and watch our episode that we uploaded week ago. We named our 11 for the first T20 where we had Sunit Velalage even before he made his debut. So selectors were too late, but they are not that late. So never too late at all as far as the series is concerned. So the series is rightly balanced at the moment, and we are heading towards the third T20 on Thursday. Finally, flat tracks followed by a spin surface which West Indies are a bit unfamiliar with. And Wanidhu Hasaranga looks to be out of form at the minute. And is it a good time to bring back Vandersay? So those are the things that we can discuss. And also Pathum Nisanka finally back to form after a month's time, where he scored his 100 back in England, and in between he was a failure in goal, but ultimately he's back in form as well. That is a good thing for Sri Lankan cricket. And unfortunately, West Indies are missing their best white ball batter against Spain, Nicholas Puran, but they have to battle against Sri Lanka. Hi, Rakita. Thank you very much for joining with me today as well. So it's a good days of cricket for Sri Lankan cricket. Sri Lanka just concluded the second T20 versus West Indies at Dambulla. So they won that match comprehensively. So I think a lot to discuss today as well. Hope you enjoy the game today, Rakita.
Yeah, very much, very much. It's a short game. It's a great win to boost our confidence, and now the series is wide open, so all to play for the third T20.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. So I think a lot to play for. Still, I think both the teams are very much balanced. Despite the conditions, I think equally talented in different conditions. So the conditions will play a major role. That's the point to be highlighted. So with that, Rakita, I would like to ask from you. If I say that Sri Lanka won by some familiar conditions, which is pretty much unfamiliar for West Indies, what would you have to say?
yeah, it's kind of so after the loss of the first T20 match, Sri Lanka has had a pressure due to losing all the home matches recently played in the T20s. We lost 3-0 to India, and we have never won a T20 bilateral series against West Indies at the moment. So this is a great chance of winning a series, as we highlighted before the series started. But given the way that they have batted in the power play in the first T20, I think the curators went for this kind of a pitch, so that is helping the spinners very much. So, and I think it's a good toss to win. So later on, the spin the pitch start turning viciously. There's a I think we are fortunate to win the toss, and then it's all about putting up a good solid total. It's kind of a middling total. It's not a 200 wicket anyway, but we had this opening partnership, so they played according to the ball. I mean, they didn't went for the go for the premeditated shots, and they survived the first 10 hours. So that I saw that is the turning point. That was the turning point, and later on we didn't finish the innings well. So that is what we have been seeing throughout our recent T20s. So we are not playing a proper T20 innings at the moment. Some days we are getting disturbing stats, but we fail in the failed at the death. But some days we are tottering in the power plays, and then somehow we are getting some respectable total. But those are not ideal for the current T20 scores that other teams are scoring. So I think this pitch is not a best for T20s, not a good exhibition for T20 cricket. But for Sri Lanka's point of view, since we have lost all the T20 matches after the World Cup, so this could be a game changer and great moral booster. So in that perspective only, I think this win is a vital win. So if we can finish up the series with another win and get the first victory, bilateral series victory over West Indies, so that will be a real achievement. But I feel like playing this in this kind of wickets will not do any good to our T20 cricket future, and our batsmen who are, I mean, we um, included Banuka Rajapaksa in the middle overs, but see how he struggled at the death. So, but by playing in this sort of wicket, we can't judge his real potential. So, that's the negative impact these kind of wickets are giving us since we are opting for turners. But I prefer we could go for more batting friendly wickets because that's the type of wickets we are getting in all over the world. So let's get
Particularly in
prepared and
T20s,
let's
right? Yeah.
in T20s, and I think let's face it in a proper way, because then only we can build up a team that's suited for all conditions. So not only for these kind of turning tracks. But I also think regardless of the wicket, we could have stuck to the same combination that we played the second T20, because we also highlighted before the series starts that Punit Vellalage and Nuwan Tushara should be included in the team in the first level. So anyway, now we have got that combination right, and we'll should stick to the the third D20s match as well. I mean, uh, for this combination, and I think with that we might have a great chance of winning this series since they are lacking quality batsmen to play against the spinners, like you mentioned. Nicholas Pooran is not there, and also Shimran Hetmeyer opted to stay at home. So those things we need to take into account, and I think that's why we should go for a 50-50 wicket rather than going for the turning tracks. But it's up to up to the curators and the whoever deciding what to do, what kind of pitches we are preparing. But I feel like for at least for two ODI matches, we will see a balanced pitches rather than turning tracks. So I think Prasad, according to you, so what do you think? What whether we should stick to the same combination in Sri Lankan perspective, and from West Indies perspective, do they need to change their 11 by opting more spinning options? So what do you think?
Yeah, it's a good question. And also, I mean, before answering to that, let me add a few points to your answer as well. Yeah, I think, I mean, we should, give, I mean, balanced traps, similar to what we, provided in the first match. But then again, I think there's a huge question to be answered in terms of Sri Lankan skills in current international level or current modern day cricket. Are we up to that standard in general T20 tracks? I think no, because we were down and out against West Indies, the third ranked team in the world at the minute. I mean, Sri Lankan batting looked really well when we were batting, but our bowling were under par against some fabulous hittings. So I think that's why Sri Lanka went to that slow low track, like you said, to register a win at least. But I think it's not doing any good to Sri Lankan T20 cricket at all. So that is something to be looked at. The high performance center and all the the coaches that are dealing with Sri Lankan cricket at the minute with the the set of guys who are I mean playing and part of high performance center. So coming back to your question. Yeah, I think I have some different, angles to think of the next T20. I mean, I have no doubt that the track will be a similar track to today. It will be slow, low track, where the spin will be the prominent factor. And having looked at the performance of Sri Lankan bowling in both the matches, Sri Lankan premier leg spinner and I mean, he's a world-class spinner. There's no doubt about that, Wandu Hasaranga. But unfortunately, he's down and out at the minute. I saw that he was bowling really well in Caribbean, but I mean a lot of wickets that he took against West Indies batters are not prominent batters against spinners. But here I saw that he was bowling a lot of full tosses, and he looked to be a bit out of form. And also I think he's bowling a bit faster than normally he should be in these slow low tracks. So then it is easy to pick and hit down the line for six. So I think in that case,
Yeah.
if we opt,
And
yeah,
yeah, I think Prasad, sorry to interrupt you, and
yeah,
I think he's overusing his googly, and it is so predictable. So batsman can
yeah.
lined up to hit over the mid wicket whenever he's going to
Yeah,
bowl this googly.
that's yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean. He's bowling with skidders because when you're bowling,
yeah.
googlies, it's normally turning out to be a skidder, so that's why the pace is there as well. So
Mm.
I think I mean we need somebody who is in a form with some slow looping deliveries. I think Van der Sar would be a good a factor to win the next game against West Indies, who are not familiar with the spin bowling at all in a spin load slow load track. But then again, the Sri Lanka selectors might have to think of the Sri Lankan batting, because then again West Indies will be coming with some more spin strengthened bowling lineup. In that case, Vandu Hasaranga is a good hitter against spinners. So I think it's something kind of a dilemma for the selectors, because down the order, if we lose quick wickets, quick 2 or 3 wickets, then all of a sudden we will lose another two, because Bhanuka Rajapaksha is not in a good form at the minute as well, as we saw. So then automatically Sri Lanka will be 4-5 down. Then that's where Vandu Hasaranga is batting, so he can take the game away from the opposition against spin. So that's another factor. I mean, he has that skill with the bat. So that is something to be analyzed and take a proper and a good decision in terms of that Sri Lankan 11. Other than that, I don't see any other changes to be made, because Nuwan Tushar is back, so I think we should stick with him. He's the white ball cricketer that Sri Lanka do have at the minute with the great swinging skills. And then as far as the West Indies team is concerned, unfortunately, like I said, they don't have Nicholas Puran. So he's not in this tour to sort out his, family, stuff. So that's his personal reasons, unfortunately. Otherwise, we could have watched his classy batting as well. But I wonder why they didn't opt for another spinner, because they do have Fabian Allen in their 15, and Fabian Allen has a good exposure in Sri Lankan conditions, having played the LPL a few months ago, and also he is good in batting as well. So I think they should replace Sharma Springer. Sharma Springer is not that handy with the ball either, and he's batting down the order. So the same job can be done with the bat by the Fabian Allen as well. So I think Fabian Allen will be a part of the next game to bowl in tandem with Gunakesh Monty. So two left arm orthodox bowlers will be bowling, but two different bowlers. So I think it will be very tricky for Sri Lanka right-handers in the next game. So I think then Kamidu, Bhanuka Rajapaksa, and Tarit Asalanka, they have to play a good part to play with the spin and take Sri Lanka to a good considerable total. So I think only change that I see in West Indies perspective is Fabian Allen to be in for Sharma Springer. So those are the changes that I do see. So some tricky, selections to be done for Sri Lankan selectors, but when it comes to West Indies selectors, I think it's obvious selection to replace Sharma Springer from Fabian Allen. That's the only changes that I do see, Rakita. So all in all, I think it was a good win for Sri Lankan T20 team. So, like I said, I think they won the game after months, right? So they did struggle to win a game against India
Yeah.
in a couple of months ago as well in Sri Lanka. So yeah, so let's hope a good game on Thursday. So before we wrap up, do you have anything to highlight, Rakita?
Yeah, I think for the third ODI, like you said, third T20, like you said, I don't think the selectors should go for Van der Sar by dropping the experience Vanidu for one match. So I'll say playing the same 11 would be ideal for this case, and I hope that that will be the case. Normally, that's how our selectors are
Yeah,
behaving. So we stick to the winning combination and try to win the series. So let's hope we'll register our first T20i bilateral victory over West Indies. So
mm,
there are a lot of first these days. So Sri Lanka cricket is concerning. We have won the first series after 27 years against India in ODI bilateral series point of view, and first series after 15 years against New Zealand in
that's cricket. Yeah.
test
Mm,
cricket perspective. So now it's time for T20s. Let's make the history.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think before wrap up, so I think we all are expecting some fireworks from Bhanuka Rajapaksa. So he's the only guy to play and show his skills in this tournament. And like we said in the previous episodes, I think Charita Salanka also came in the ranks as a spin bowler in spin conditions because we initially didn't
Yeah,
expect that one in Dambulla, but now due to Sri Lankan skills, so they went with this spin track. Then I think he becomes handy. So I
yeah.
think yeah,
Uh,
that's also something that we highlighted
and
and it worked. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think today I think Kusal Janit mainly played a great knock. I think the way he has handled the spin would be really beneficial if we have to bat second in the third T20 match. So we have
yeah,
to use more sweeps. The way he has used the sweeps and reverse sweeps might be really helpful for other if the other batsmen also try to emulate
yeah. But I
his.
think,
Okay.
all those things are starts. So we are expecting more from him as the most experienced batter in the team, age 34 something. So we expect him to go with some 50. That's why he's playing at the number three. Otherwise, Sri
Yeah,
Lanka have a lot of skills. So he should focus on his, occupying the crease in the next game because he's playing in a very critical, position in the team. He's not an opener any longer. So I think he
yeah.
should stick and
But
hit a good 50 as well in next game.
Yeah, what I highlighted was not only his Kusajan's perspective, but if we had to if we had to play bat second in the third T20 match, all the batsmen should adapt that kind of approach.
Yeah,
So rather than playing dot balls after dot ball, so it can happen to a Sri Lankan team as well. The similar thing that happened to West Indies because as you mentioned, if the Fabian Allen uh, uh, come into the 11. So that's a huge moral booster for West Indies. And we are not playing well against him. And also he's playing well against our spinners as well. So I think they will definitely go for that option, and we have to guard ourselves and play positively to the spinners. But we have seen that we also can't play when the track is supporting the spinners. Our batsman is also succumb to the pressure. That's what happened in the T20 series against India.
Yeah.
So that can happen to us, but that's why I'm telling, playing having this kind of turning tracks will be it's not a good exhibition for T20s. It's not a fair evaluation if you're
Yeah.
going to
It's like
measure
it's like playing in a green top in England or New Zealand
England.
T20. So that is not acceptable, and they are not doing that. So I don't know why we keep doing that one. So we should, up our skills. No hesitation of that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, there's no way that we can win big tournaments when it comes to T20 cricket in international level away from Sri Lanka. So we need to, we need to have a set of players who can hit the ball like, we saw how Brendan King played superb hitting. So, when it comes to Test cricket, we are not talking about those. But here, I think it's all about hitting because just 20 runs, there's no session-wise mind game to be played here. It's all about hand-eye coordination, while we are having a good technique. So we have to connect the ball and we have to, when we connect the ball, we should not have any half measures. We should go after that. So that sort of a set of players should be there in Sri Lankan batting lineup. So that is something to be thought of if we want to improve this format as well and to compete with the other international teams. And also at the same time, bowlers have to think of some different ways, different options on those flat tracks to take wickets and at least to, you know, bowl at an economical rate. So yeah, that's all we have to say today. I think it was a good game of cricket as far as the final result is concerned for Sri Lankan cricket. But let's hope a very good final match. So so it is good for the. It's good for the tournament. Now it is 1-1. So we have a final ultimately rather than a dead rubber. So thanks all for watching our this quick segment and. Thank you, Rakita, for joining with me today as well. So we'll be able to have a good review on this Sri Lanka versus West Indies T20 series, as well as a good preview on the upcoming ODI towards the end of this week. So till then, for all of you, bye for now.